Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Tonight we're checking out a 2020 Honda Accord in the base model. So this is the basic trim that you can possibly get. And it's surprisingly decent. Some vehicles are not all that great, but this one's pretty good. So first I want to point out, when you turn off all the exterior lights, when you put the headlight switch in the off position, you still have these very bright daytime running lights. So you can see right here, it's just blown out completely, the camera. But when I get closer, you can see it actually has a pretty distinct shape. So it's brighter there on the outside, really bright on the outside, but it has this line here at the bottom. So you can see this line right here extending in. It's really nice and bright. Daytime, nighttime. Now you could potentially mistake these as headlights. You want to make sure you have your headlights in the automatic position so you don't go without tail lights. So when I turn on the parking lights, the daytime running lights are so bright, but you can see this little amber light now illuminates. It's not that super bright. It does start to illuminate here in the front. And you see the daytime running light just completely overpowers it. The LED taillights are now on. Nice soft glow in red. Nice and bright. And then the tag lights as well are illuminated. They're also an LED. Now the turn signals are very bright and they tend to overpower those daytime running lights. And it's an LED strip. It's like just a solid amber line. And it's visible there in the front, in the sides. Now there's no turn signal indicator there on the side mirrors, so it's a good thing you can see it from the side. The turn signal in the back of the vehicle, however, is standard halogen bulbs. In amber, it's an amber color. Now I have the low beams on, and when I turn the low beams on, the daytime running light LED dims quite a bit, so it's not quite as bright anymore. You can see now the headlights are the bright light, and it's a multi-reflector LED system here, and it's LED for the low beams only. Now I have the high beams on, and you can see the color temperature there for the high beams is in the middle portion, and it's in a yellowish color in contrast with the white color. So that's a halogen high beam. So there's the low beams, there's the high beams. Low beams, high beams. There's the low beams and the high beams. Taking a look at the cargo area, there is one light in the center, and it's right there. It's a standard bulb, and it does a decent job of illuminating the trunk area. Now the trunk is black, so there's not much reflecting in here, except for those tissue boxes and other crap I have in here. But as far as the camera picking up, is not as great, but with my eyes it's pretty decent. Just a center light. Could be a little bit better, but I think this is at the bare minimum adequate. The inside of the back door, there's one backlit illuminated button, and that's for the right in here, and that is for the power window. The rest of the door is completely dark. Now the back seat, now this is a light interior for the seats, so you can see how you can see some reflections there, but the only light here in the back is from that center dome light. Everything else is completely dark here in the back, as far as there's no floorboard illumination, there's no buttons that back here, or the pocket is not illuminated. So this pocket right here can see there's a pocket there, but there's no illumination inside. The inside of the driver's side door does have quite a bit of backlit buttons here for the power windows, door locks, side mirror adjustments, and to release the trunk. But the pockets, so you can see a pocket right in here is completely dark, here is dark, and around the handle is completely dark. Floorboard has no illumination, so you can just see the seats. There's some tap lights and some ambient lights right up in here, but they're not on when you open up the door. So you just have that center dome light for the front and the back. Okay, so I'm sitting in the driver's seat and I had the door open. It's just this dome light, so it's not a huge amount of light, but it does help. It's a good angle because it's kind of over the shoulder, but it's real easy to cast a shadow with that dome light. So I shut the door. Let me shut it harder. There we go. All right, so now we can see the ambient lights here in the steering wheel. There's the gauges, nice clean, sharp gauges. So since this is a base model, there are some compromises. The floorboard is completely dark. The glove compartment has no lights. This compartment here, you can see in there, this compartment, it goes in there quite a ways. You can see that. It has a backlit light there, but there's also a very dim light. I don't know if you can see it, but there is actually a light in here. It's right in this area. And you can see pretty decent with your eyes. The camera's not really picking it up all that great. And so there's a shifter. So it has some lights there. There's no cup holder illumination. And there's some backlit buttons here. This armrest underneath in this compartment here, when I lift it up, this area is all dark, so you will need some kind of helping light to see in there. Now there's ambient lights right up in here, and you can see right in here is the ambient light here and here. Kind of helps out when it's super dark. There's also tap lights, which are standard LED tap lights right here and here. And the visors, they do have a light and a mirror there, just one light. One thing that is pretty cool about this base model is it has automatic high beams. And I was kind of surprised that a base model would have automatic high beams with the LED headlights. And they actually work pretty good. There's a couple times in which they mistake lights as a headlight, but in general it doesn't flash people and it doesn't really cause a problem. The automatic high beams are actually very functional, and you can basically even leave them on all the time. So there's definitely some compromises in this base model. It does have really good headlights, and exterior lights are good, but you know, there's skimping. There's no puddle light that's in the door. There's no you know, approach lights or anything like that. It's just really good LED multi-reflector headlights for your low beams, LED tail lights. There's no light in the glove compartment, which seems very odd to me. Floorboard illumination is missing, but you know, it is a base model, so you can expect some corner cutting as far as features and stuff. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.